Hi there. I just wanted to hop on before the story and wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving. I hope that your feasts are plentiful, your family arguments brief, and that the unknowable entity at the center of everything accepts your offerings. Happy Thanksgiving. Marla Henderson always bought her turkey late, always on a Wednesday. Always from the 24-hour discount market that smelled like bleach and canned corn. But this year, the freezer aisle was nearly bare. Only one turkey left, wrapped in plastic so thick it had fogged from within. The label was half torn, the brand unrecognizable, the expiration date smudged as if wiped by a wet thumb. The bird was huge, enormous. She stood staring as frost cracked softly along its surface, spiderwebbing over the plastic. A pulse of cold rolled off of it, enough to bite her fingers when she touched the bag. The thing weighed absurdly more than it should, not just heavy, but dense, as if packed with stone. Behind her, the lone night shift clerk muttered, it shouldn't be there. We ain't stocked that. But when Marla asked what he meant, he only shook his head and wandered away, coughing into his sleeve. She bought the turkey anyway, thinking little beyond the sale price. She would regret that. By the time she had hauled the bird inside, her hands were raw with cold. The plastic bag had frosted over during the drive home, thin white veins of ice forming around the label. Her brother, Edward, already drunk on the kind of whiskey meant to help him tolerate the holiday, poked it with a fork. Jesus, Ma, did you buy a whole damn boulder? It was the only one left. That doesn't look like a turkey, her niece said. Why is it so shiny? It was shiny. Not glossy like frozen meat, but shimmering, almost pearlescent beneath ice, as if layers of something luminous lay preserved under the skin. Marla dismissed it. She dismissed everything these days. Exhaustion, loneliness, the quiet tremor in her hands. The holiday was something to survive, not savor. She heaved the bird onto the counter. Something inside it shifted. Not the slow slump of frozen organs, but a sliding weight. A movement with intention. Everyone heard it, but nobody spoke about it. By morning, the bird had just started to thaw. The frost coating the plastic had melted unevenly, leaving patterns like drifting constellations across the bag. Lily pointed at the marbled skin beneath. It looks like space. Marla couldn't deny it. The flesh wasn't pink. It was streaked with deep navy blues, purples, and strange gleaming veins like trapped galaxies. It looked wrong. She told everyone the store must have used some strange brine. She told herself the same. Finally, time to cook the bird. The oven, preheated to 325, should have warmed the kitchen. Instead, the temperature plummeted. Frost raced along floor tiles, climbing the cabinets like creeping ivy. The oven door vibrated as if something inside strained against it. Edward swore loudly. Lily backed away. Marla's breath turned to mist in front of her face. Yet still, she opened the oven. Inside, the bird sat unbothered, its skin shimmering brighter than before, glowing faintly like a distant starlight. A thin crack had split the flesh near the breastbone, and from the seam, something pulsed. A light, pale and foggy, drifting like cosmic dust. Something inside the turkey was alive. The crack widened. A soft thump sounded from within the bird, a heartbeat or a knock or something trying to orient itself. And then the skin split cleanly apart down the center, peeling open like a flower made of meat. Inside languished a cluster of translucent shapes the size of apples, each one trembling, each one a sac filled with pulsing faint light. Eggs. The realization hit Marla with nauseating clarity. The turkey was not stuffed with organs, it was filled with eggs. Lily screamed and Edward stumbled backwards, knocking over a chair. One of the sacks tore open. A creature spilled out, wet and quivering, no feathers or beak. A sinuous bird-like shape with elongated limbs, naked and pale as bone. Organs glowed visible beneath its transparent skin, clusters of swirling star points drifting through liquid darkness. It blinked, enormous milky eyes, then made a soft, keening chirp and imprinted instantly on Marla. The creature stretched its thin neck and nuzzled her hand. Where it touched, a burn spread, a cold burn, so cold her skin turned white at the wrist. She staggered back, but the creature followed. Behind her, more eggs began to split. Within seconds, the kitchen was filled with chirping, dozens of soft, echoing cries from the hatchlings forcing their way free. Each creature was a variation of the first, some with skeletal wing scaffolds, some with multiple luminous eyes, still others trailing thin fibers like antennae, all glowing faintly from within as though lit by dying stars. They crawled and stumbled, their bodies both fragile and impossibly strong. Edward lunged for one with a broom. The creature opened its mouth, a ring of thin, needle-like teeth arranged like a halo. It latched onto the broom, eating through the wood as though it were soft bread. Edward screamed and dropped the stick. The hatchling moved toward him immediately, drawn by motion or heat or fear. Marla grabbed Lily, putting her behind her. She turned to run, but the doorway was blocked. The largest of the creatures, still half wrapped in its embryonic membrane, was dragging itself forward, bones cracking wetly as it straightened into something vaguely avian, vaguely serpent-like. It towered over the counter, luminous organs swirling like nebula inside its chest. Its eyes, deep wells of pale light, fixed on Marla. And it chirped, a single sound that resonated through the floorboards, through her bones, through the air itself. The smaller ones froze and turned in unison toward her. Not Edward, not Lily, just her. Marla backed into the fridge, hands raised. The air around her vibrated, humming with presence, with expectation. The luminescent creatures circled slowly, their bodies shifting with an unsettling grace. Lily whimpered behind her. "Marla, I need to get Lily out of here." Edward took Lily and ran. They had chosen Marla. The mother, the one who cooked the offering, the one who carried the bird home, the one whose life had been a quiet series of sacrifices, always giving, always feeding others. The largest creature stepped closer. Its glowing chest rippled, its mouth parted slightly. Cold radiated from it, frost forming on Marla's eyelashes. She expected an attack. Instead, it lowered its head and pressed its forehead to hers in a gesture undeniably tender. The room dimmed around her, and voices rose. A chorus of distant star sounds, crackling radio whispers from a cosmos she did not recognize. Images flooded her mind. Worlds colder than ice, giant avian gods made of star marrow, cosmic nests drifting in void, creatures migrating through galaxies in colossal flocks, the egg worlds where they grew their harvests. They hadn't been brought here. They had been sent to find a new environment, to colonize the warm life world, to choose a host to shepherd them. They had chosen Marla. She felt it, a tugging inside, a warmth blooming in her chest, a pulse of acceptance she had not felt in years. The creature's forehead pressed harder. White light flooded her vision. She screamed. Or maybe she didn't. The cold swallowed everything. When the light faded, Marla stood trembling. The creatures bowed their heads, every last one of them. She stepped forward and touched the nearest hatchling without flinching. Her hand no longer burned. Her skin seemed frost-touched, pale and shimmering faintly, as if something new pulsed beneath it. Her breath misted, not from cold, but from whatever lived inside her now. Edward had come back for Marla. "Marla, what happened?" She turned to him. Her eyes glowed faintly with swirling starlight. Her voice came out soft, layered with an echo, not her own.
"They're hungry,"
she said. The hatchlings chirped eagerly at the sound of her voice.
"and they need more than me."
She stepped aside. The flock surged forward. Edward screamed as the luminous creatures descended. Lily screamed and hid, but small things, Marla knew now, did not hide for long in this world. The shrieks faded into the cold. Marla stood calm and serene as the flock fed. As the kitchen floor took on the shine of wet frost, as the world outside faded to white, as a new kind of Thanksgiving feast had begun. The largest creature curled around Marla's legs protectively, and she stroked its head.
"This world is warm.
She murmured to her brood.
This world will do."
Behind her, the eggs glowed inside the opened bird, and new cracks began to form. There would be more. Many more. And she would raise them. After all, she had always been a good host.